Hey, we're back with part two of a three-part series on my adventures with Turo for the first week, and then the next one will be probably at the month mark to give a better synopsis of what's going on, right? So, exciting first couple days. We had 3 bookings the first day, which was exciting. So, we went on live Sunday night, and then Monday morning we had 3 hits for it already. So how it worked was we set up a time, and then they picked a time, and we didn't set up automatic booking unless it was at our home location. So if you don't set up automatic booking, you have to approve the booking before it's set. But if you have it set to automatic booking, if they choose your location or however you have it set up, it automatically books it, and then you can't get out of it. You can't say no, you can't negotiate or anything else. That's that, right? So just be mindful when you put on automatic booking. It's quicker, and it gets you faster response time for your metrics and algorithms and stuff like that. But it could be a hindrance if maybe you forgot that you couldn't rent it that day, or 2 people came in at the same time, and maybe one person's paying a little more because they want more extras. You can't then rack and stack at that point. It's already set, and then it takes your car off for that time frame. So we have it set up to where it's automatic booking at our home location, but not anywhere else. So if they want it delivered to them or to the airport, they have to be approved, right? So the first one came in for a 1-day trip from a Thursday to Friday, and they put on the message. So much like I compared it to Airbnb in the first one video, they send you a message saying what their intent, what they're going to do with it is. And the lady said she's going to a wedding, right? So a wedding in Columbus, probably about an hour and a half away. She needs it for a day. For whatever reason, that's why, right? I was like, simple, right? And we had it set up to where if you rent it on a Friday, you have to do it on a Saturday. If you rent it on a Saturday, you have to do it for Sunday. So it's like 2-day for the weekends, right? Because if someone rents it for a Saturday, then most people aren't going to rent it on just a Sunday. So we make it mandatory 2-day weekend rental. But she rented it for a Thursday to Friday, maybe to get away from that. I don't know. But either way, we'll go over the prices and everything like that in a later video of probably the month video where we go over how much we made throughout the month. But that trip wasn't too much for being only 1 day. And we had the introductory price, I think it started at $42. I think it was $41 for the weekday and $42 or $43 for the weekend, right? So very low, but you needed to start low so we can get our reviews up and our reputation out there as being a pro host is what we're trying to get to, right? So the next one that came in was a gentleman who wanted to rent it for 5 days, picked all of the extras. So we put on there the unlimited miles and the cleaning, post-cleaning things you would have to do, which all will be on another video when I can show you on the screen of the options to pick and run through the post that way. But so in talks with the gentleman, 5 minutes later, we got another booking for the same dates, right? So it's like the thing's about to really jump off, right? Things are getting booked like that. So sadly, well, not sadly, since he picked all the extras, was a lot more than the other guys. So I was already wanting to go with him. But this other guy was local, and his message, he's like, he just needed it for work, back and forth while his car gets fixed. So people can rent cars for whatever reason, So in talks with him, I'm saying, oh, sorry, we're talking with somebody else right now. You just got booked, right? So, talking with the other guy, he says he wants to pick up from the airport. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So, knowing from any other airport experiences, they want your itinerary, right? So, I don't want to be waiting at the airport for however long if his flight doesn't get in or if it gets delayed or something like that. So, I need to know when you're getting in. So, I was like, send me an itinerary and everything like that, and we'll book your trip. He was like, okay. He said he didn't know how to do it. I was like, okay, so mind you, this app could be suspect, right? Someone wants to steal your car or do some suspicious stuff in it, right? So you got to have still protections on yourself and safeguards and things like that. So I definitely need the itinerary if he's picking up from the airport, why you picking up from the airport, if you're not flying in, right? If you don't know how to copy and paste and put it into this chat box, you can send it to an email. So I said send it to this email if you don't have it, put it in there. And I was like, as soon as you put it in there, I read that it was confirmed and booked. I just booked it, right? Didn't do any more research. I was like, all right, looks legit, right? Doing some more research on the itinerary I saw, like the airports didn't make sense, right? So he was flying from Columbus to Dayton, which is only like an hour and a half drive. So I'm like, why would you be flying from Columbus to Dayton? So more research went in on this. It wasn't to Dayton. It was Columbus to Daytona International Airport, or Daytona Airport, not Dayton Airport. So he picked the wrong pickup location. So I told him about it. Luckily, we were able to get it canceled, and he was like, sorry. I was like, yes, but I'd already canceled on the other guy, or it automatically canceled once I accepted his request. So it doesn't ding us if the app cancels it, right? Because if you cancel one, it'll mark it bad on yours, your profile of canceled requests, and you don't want that. We want to, it's very tough metrics to maintain, and from what I hear, they will kick you off the platform if you have bad metrics and reviews and things like that. So it's very important to keep your reviews good and your metrics high, and that includes response rate time, canceled cars, completed trips, all that good stuff, right? So luckily, he said it was his first time, so my first time too, but I didn't let him know that. So he was able to cancel it, and it just said trip canceled. I emailed the other guy back, or through the app, and I told him, well, sorry, the other guy canceled. The car is now available if you still want it. He was like, sure. What do I do? I was like, just rebook it for the same dates. He was like, all right. 5 minutes later, there was another request for his booking. I already had talked to the guy, so I already knew him a little bit, so I approved it, and everything worked out great from there. So luckily it was a lot less money because he didn't pick some of the extras like the unlimited miles, and the time was different. The pickup price wasn't there, but it was still rented, right? So we're still on a roll here. And then, so that was the first 3 in the one day, right? So I'm thinking everything is great. But then the logistics came of how do I get this car to these people or this gentleman in the middle of the day? Because his pickup was during the week at 10 a.m. drop off, 2 p.m. And I have, an 8 to 5 job or 8 to 4 job. So how do I get this car over there and then get back to work? I could Uber there, but I would have to come home, Uber, or take the car there. It's not my car. I'm leasing this car. And then go to his place, Uber back to my house, and then drive back to work. So it was and then it started, the logistics of drop-offs became more apparent of this is not as easy as I thought it might be. So we upped the drop-off price that day from $20 to now it's $50, right? Because if I did take an Uber $20 each way, that's $40. And then my time, which would easily be an hour, definitely worth more than $20. So we had to start factoring that into it. And if I did take another person, they were then taking their time and gas. So the more you learn, the more you go on, right? Luckily, his drop off was Sunday, so I was off on Sunday, so I was able to go do that with no issues, right? But those were some of the logistics we started having to iron out. And because of that, we had to raise the price, right? So good news on that. We got it booked, and then we got the next booking the next night. So I think either that night or Tuesday night, we got another booking, right? For a 9-day trip. But it was 2 months out. So we had the discounts in there for, I think it was like 10% for more than 7 days, or 15% for more than 7 days. And then there was a free delivery fee for over 5 days booking. And then it was an extra 5% for booking it more than, I think it's 7 days out. If I don't remember, I need to look back on the app for that. But all those discounts mixed on our introductory price gave them a great deal on the car, which was, no fault of their own. They took advantage of everything they had, but it made us then adjust to what we had to do, because they got a 9-day rental for, I don't know, probably like $150, something like that, right? Something ridiculous, right? So they booked it so far out, and then we couldn't do anything about it, right? But so we have since changed that. We've added delivery fee. We've changed the discounts to, we'll run the numbers later, but I think it was more like 5% for 7 days, 10% for, it was 5% for 3 days, 10% for the 7 days, and then 20% for 30 days. And then we still kept the more than 7 days booking out at, I think, 5%. But we also upped the trip time for the free delivery to 1 week. So we still want to keep the free delivery if you rent it for a week, right? But we also had to change some of the prices. So I thought that since it was doing so good, why don't I just raise the price, right? So far, that has not been a great idea, right? So I raised it to $50 from the original $41, thinking that wasn't going to be that bad. Didn't get any hits for 2 days. Raised it to $49. Still haven't got a hit yet. And we're on week 1 completed. So this is Tuesday. So a week and a day, right? So we haven't got any more hits since those first 2 days, right? So we're trying to still play with more numbers. If we do have to drop the price back down, we will, right? The next thing is I always say we when we talk about these things, right? Everything is a we, somebody. If it's me or it's God, somebody, it's we, right? So right now we're still in the process of weeding out the best prices and things of that nature. So we also, from the fiasco of having to drop it off because of the other lady with the wedding, wants her drop off at 10 a.m. and I work at 10 a.m. So, and hers is Thursday and Friday. So it would be 2 weekdays I would have to take off to do this, right? So it's not the best for people with full-time jobs that aren't very flexible, right? So luckily my job's pretty flexible, but I can't keep doing this. It's not sustainable. So what I had to do was go into the app and adjust my availability times. So when doing that, I did it from 6 to 8 a.m. and then from 5 p.m. to 11 p.m., right? Those are the times that someone can pick it up or drop it off. In doing that, I saw that the next day, the car wasn't listed on the platform, right? So I don't know what happened. I'm thinking they kicked us off because they didn't like what we were doing. I raised the prices. I'm still new. I don't even have the reviews yet. But I found out their default, when you click on the site, is whatever day, 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. So if your car is not available, it won't display. So you have to keep that in mind when you're doing your availability of 10 a.m. So whatever your availability needs to be still is 10 a.m. because unless they choose it first at the times they need, they won't see your car at all. So if they go on there and just look at the location, see what car's available, they won't see your car. And they'll pick another car and then see if that car is available on their day versus checking their availability day and then seeing what cars are available. So keep that in mind. That was I'm glad we learned that early. It was only a day, but still is not the greatest. And their default, I think, hurts a little bit because if it's rented for a day and their default is 3 days, it won't show either because you can't rent it in that day period. So I think that's a big hit on Turo for doing the default days and doing it that way, right? Instead of just showing all the cars and then picking your day if it's available or not. If the default, it's not available in that time frame, it won't show your vehicle. So glad we figured that out, but we are able to work around that now. So we just had to set it to 10 a.m. and then be able to ask them, because you can adjust all these time frames after you book or before you even book. Once they ask the question of, are you flexible with your pickup time? Are you flexible with your drop-off time? And things like this. Also, when we get the Tesla on the platform, we can just set up drop-off locations, and I don't have to be there to give them keys, because I can just start it and unlock it from my app, from my Tesla app, right? Currently, we can't do that because the vehicle we have now won't allow you to lock the keys in the car so that they can just pick up the keys and go. We are working our way around that. I think I'm trying to get a Faraday cage, some RFID blocker, so we can leave a key in the car and then unlock the car from the app, so we don't have to deal with the logistics of having to be there at a certain time. We leave it in their neighborhood, down the street, close to their driveway. They just won't have access to it until that time that they're supposed to pick it up. We unlock the door, they do all their checks, and they drive it. They leave it back there with the key locked in the car. They tell us when, this is all hypothetical, they tell us when it's put back, and then we lock the car, and then we come pick it up when we can. Seems like it could be much easier that way, and hopefully it works out that way. Same thing I will do with the Tesla, but we're going to try with the RAV4 right now.